So today we'll be taking a look at a few stories involving Roman Reigns, Naomi, and more. This week was another loaded week for Roman Reigns and SmackDown. This week's show opens up with Roman Reigns and the Bloodline. They go over some of the recent situations with Finn Balor and Brock Lesnar. Paul Heyman grabs the mic and starts running his mouth on Brock Lesnar. Heyman says that he saw something in Brock Lesnar's eyes that he never saw before, and that thing was fear. Heyman believes that Lesnar fears Reigns. Heyman gets interrupted by the new WWE champion Big E, and he has a quick stare down with the Bloodline. A small moment meant to foreshadow Roman Reigns vs. Big E at Survivor Series, which could happen if Roman can survive the Demon and Brock Lesnar. That segment was followed up by a backstage conversation between Roman Reigns and Paul Heyman. We see Roman Reigns question Paul Heyman again, and it's clear that Roman still doesn't know how to feel about Heyman's loyalty. Roman continues to ask Heyman several times if there's anything he should know. Heyman finally addresses the question that Roman was asking, saying that he didn't know about Brock Lesnar's SummerSlam return, and that Brock is creating this false narrative that Heyman was in on it just to see it as a mask for his fear of Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns then asks Heyman if Brock Lesnar would be at Extreme Rules, and Heyman very suspiciously answered the question with a certain no, which made Roman ask Heyman, how does he know that? Heyman said that he's just assuming, which made Roman respond by saying that he pays Heyman to know things well in advance. That's where the conversation left off at between Heyman and Reigns, so definitely some growing tension there between Roman and Heyman. Paul Heyman is keeping that innocent act going, while Roman is starting to get more and more suspicious about Paul Heyman's true intentions. We then get another interaction between Paul Heyman and Kayla Braxton. Kayla tells Heyman that she has some insiders that claim that Brock Lesnar is heading to Raw during next week's WWE draft. Paul Heyman absolutely explodes on Kayla Braxton for how she keeps trying to get Brock Lesnar information out of him. He tells her that he's no longer his advocate and screams at her to leave him alone. So Heyman and Kayla have been having a lot of funny interactions with each other over the last few weeks. And this was another great interaction between the two. Kayla is playing this sneaky journalist that's trying to catch Heyman slipping to get some information from him, and he just wasn't having it. Heyman's explosion on Kayla was also most likely a result of everything he's going through right now. Heyman clearly has a lot on his plate right now, and he took it all out on Kayla Braxton. It'll be interesting to see if Kayla continues to pursue Heyman after that outrage from him. Heyman then ran into Big E in the hallway. Big E teased the Survivor Series World Champion vs. World Champion match. We talked about how he would take out either of Heyman's guys that are Universal Champion come Survivor Series, Roman Reigns or Brock Lesnar. The Bloodline then appears out of nowhere and takes out Big E backstage. Then, WWE announced the big news that the Bloodline will be coming over to Raw to face the New Day. It's been advertised for a few weeks now that the Bloodline was skipping SmackDown's UK tour for the September 20th edition of Raw, but no one knew if they would appear on Raw or just a dark match. Well, SmackDown gave us the reason and explanation for the Bloodline's upcoming appearance on Raw. This Raw matchup may also be the early seeds for Roman Reigns vs. Big E at Survivor Series as well. It's hard to tell where this Bloodline and New Day story is going to lead, considering both factions are on separate brands. That does make things a bit difficult and hard to predict. Maybe it's just a one-off Raw appearance for Roman and the Bloodline, or maybe it's a story that'll be around for a few weeks here. The WWE draft is coming up this week, and that's when there's a bit more freedom for superstars to appear on other shows. So maybe this Bloodline vs. New Day story could continue over the next few weeks here during the draft, and maybe pick back up in November for Survivor Series. You have to give the Bloodline credit. It's just unbelievable when you think of how much active storylines and feuds they have going on all at once. You have the tension with Roman and Heyman, Roman vs. Finn, Roman vs. Brock, Usos vs. the Street Profits, and now Bloodline vs. the New Day. It's truly something special to see them just be a part of so much stories all at the same time. And now you have them coming over to Raw. That's absolutely amazing, giving viewers even more of a reason to tune into Raw now. Everything will feel refreshed a bit with a new WWE champion, and Roman Reigns coming to Raw is a big help as well. USA Network has to be thrilled about that fact for sure. Let's get into the Naomi storyline. It was another brief segment and the same sort of theme as the previous segments. But this one definitely was the most interesting out of them all, and gave us more to discuss. We've been seeing Naomi come up to Sonya Deville for a handful of weeks now, asking for a match. And you can really see the shift in Naomi's attitude and persona if you watch all the segments back. Naomi first appeared on SmackDown, kind and bubbly, and just overall excited to be on SmackDown. But as Sonya kept denying her with the same sorry excuse week after week, you could see the patience quickly starting to fade in Naomi, which led us to her segment with Sonya Deville this week. There's no more waiting for Sonya to get off the phone. Naomi went up to Sonya and demanded her to get off the phone immediately, and got up and close in Sonya's face about how she's going to get a match on SmackDown no matter what. Michael Cole then announced on commentary that Naomi was fined by WWE for insubordination during that confrontation with Sonya Deville. Of course, not an actual real-life fine, but a storyline-related fine. Naomi is getting edgy, she's getting frustrated, she's getting desperate to make something happen for herself on SmackDown. So, what could this story be leading to? Well, there's some theories out there that wonder if this could all be leading to a big in-ring return from Sonya Deville herself. During Naomi's rant to Sonya Deville, she threw in some hints and references there to Sonya's career inside the ring, saying that she'd be around longer than Sonya and accomplish more than she did in the ring. So is that some clever story hints hidden in Naomi's words? Could this be leading to Sonya's return to the ring? Maybe when Sonya reveals that there's no opponents for Naomi to face, maybe Naomi will eventually suggest to wrestle Sonya Deville. Sonya has been the reason why Naomi has been missing from SmackDown, and it's getting to the point where Naomi feels like this is a personal issue with Sonya. So what better way for Naomi to get back at Sonya than requesting to wrestle her in the ring? So that's a possibility for sure. Sonya had a few interviews over the summer where she talked about how she does have a desire to return to the ring and come for the Women's Championship. So her in-ring career will continue eventually, and this story with Naomi could potentially open up a route for Sonya to come back to the ring. Or we can see something similar to what Sonya did to Mandy Rose on Raw. It seemed like Sonya was still holding that grudge towards Mandy Rose and booked Mandy to face some pretty tough opponents that just embarrassed her. So maybe the same thing happens here. Sonya finally gives Naomi a match, but it's against a really tough opponent that Sonya hopes will embarrass Naomi. Lots of possibilities here with Naomi's stories. It could lead to a character change for Naomi, Sonya's return, a debut, maybe a crossover with the Bloodline. Endless possibilities here with this one. But what are your thoughts on today's stories from SmackDown? Leave your comments, don't forget to subscribe with all notifications on, and leave a like if you enjoyed. Thanks for watching, guys.